Today is day 31. My first month being free from drinking that sugary drink, Coke or Pepsi. Now, I had mentioned earlier that I stopped for 5 years drinking soda pop, as we call it here in the Midwest. And I didn't notice a change in my weight. That doesn't mean that you should continue to drink that drink, including diet drinks. Even though you know it's not good for you and you continue to do something, at some point you're going to have to make a decision. So, I've struggled, as I said, with my weight. Whether I drank it or didn't, I didn't notice a dramatic difference in my weight loss. But I still know better. I remember visiting a cousin of mine who owns a chiropractic clinic. A plug for Fahuri Chiropractic in Ocala, Florida. My cousin Riyadh, I was visiting him at his home and his lovely wife, Manal. And he mentioned to me as I was sipping on a tall Coke, which I brought with me on my visit to the house, that you know that's not good for you. It depletes your bones and it makes them brittle. And I didn't know that. So I thought, I better listen to someone who would know more. So I remembered that, and I did eventually stop drinking it. It was tough. I mentioned that I did it for 5 years. Well, then one day, believe it or not, that urge for that taste came back. And it's going to happen. But it was at the end of Ramadan. I had fasted for 30 days straight. And it was the final night. And I just said, I feel like having a Pepsi. Well, one led to another and then another. And I've been drinking it now for quite a few years. Then I said, okay, why don't you try to substitute that drink for other drinks? And I went to a lot of other drinks, especially cold drinks, because I love cold drinks. And I'm a big Starbucks fan. And so I started having green tea and black tea and passion tea. And those pumps with the cane sugar in it. Don't do that. So I had to stop doing that. And then I went back to my hot drinks and getting my favorite, the salted caramel mochas and with extra sea salt if they had of it. And I just decided that I had to do something this year. So as one of my goals for 2020, whether you make them or not, it's January, it's the time to do it. And so I thought I'd give it a try. I was a little late in setting my goals for this year, but I went ahead and being free of drinking Coke was one of my goals. And I've done it. And I wanted to share that with you. Now, what I did was, first I tried to get off the caffeine, which is the most difficult part. Because you're going to start to get those headaches, and then you're going to have that brain fog, and then each day you're going to have problems. And you know how it is when you haven't had your coffee in the morning. Well, I was never a big coffee drinker because I grew up drinking pop, and every morning I would have a tall drink, and I would have it with a scrambled egg sandwich or a bagel or something. And 30 years later, and again, I'm still struggling with my weight. But I had this one boss when I worked for this law firm here in Detroit, and he drank a Coke every day, and the law firm provided us free Coke It was in the refrigerator. We could have one a day, as many as we wanted. It was there as a service, just like they provide us with filtered water and other nice things that companies provide their employees. Well, this boss of mine, of course, he ran every day, and he had the tightest derriere you'll ever find. So I was thinking, if he could drink a Coke a day, then why is his body looking so much better than mine? Well, of course, everybody's body type is different. Hello. So regardless of what your body type is, there's certain things that you do have to stay away from. As I mentioned, everything turns to sugar, like bread and pasta. Another thing that I didn't talk about that I want to return to is drinking alcohol. Now, I don't drink, but those of you who do, you should consider that those calories really do add up. And believe it or not, alcohol turns to sugar. I don't know exactly how many are in a glass of wine or whether it's a mixed drink or not. You could do your own because there's a lot of people that count calories. I'm not into counting calories. I tried Weight Watchers. It just wasn't for me. I don't want to do the points. I can't deal with that. I just want to have good, healthy food and go back to my Mediterranean diet of how I grew up. My mom used to cook for me every day. She would get up, provide us a good, healthy breakfast. When we came home from school, we had our meals prepared. And so that's how I grew up. I didn't even know what pizza was. I didn't even like pizza until I probably went to college. And that's when I started ordering Domino's, which is very big here. So I didn't start to struggle with my weight until really I got into college. And that's when I got away from my mom's home cooking. And, I now, thinking back in hindsight, realize why all my friends wanted to come home with me after school. They wanted to know what my mom was cooking. We grew up on, a Mediterranean diet. I will share with you more about the types of foods that we have. I love to cook. I love to eat. Of course, I love Mexican food as well, and Thai food, and Italian food, and, as I said, tiramisu and bakery items. But struggling with my weight does not just include exercise and the food that you put in your body. It includes your mindset and what you put into it, and that you have to look at your body as a temple, that it's the only one that you have. So please look at yourself in the mirror. We talked a little bit about body image in my segment where I talk about Lizzo being body shamed. If you look at her picture over, from when she started, and I think 2009 to 2019, she posted them on her Instagram. She was not always that same size that she is today. So she's 31, 32. That's about when I started having the problems with my weight, and my weight started to creep up in my early 30s. So, there's going to be changes in your body. So, there's the puberty and, changes in your chemical makeup of your body. Then you start getting into the premenopausal stage, and then, of course, into menopause. So this period in your life is going to cause either a slowdown in your metabolism because of your age, or you could start to have other effects that could have long-term effects based on your habits. So whenever you look at a problem such as weight or what you eat, what you put in your body, you always have to look at a multiplicity of events in your life. So don't just say that, because I drink Coke, that's my problem. It's always a combination of things. So, cutting out the Coke, yeah, that's great. Staying away from the sugary drink, you think you've got it, nailed, but no, it's not going to solve your problem. So, what I ended up doing is I started purchasing, like, well, other sugary drinks that didn't have caffeine in them. So I love Canada Dry. I also love orange soda. So I started drinking those. And it gave me that bubbly, fizzy taste. And it was satisfying. But again, you've still got the calories. I don't know, it's like 140 calories a can of Coke. I try to stick to one a day. And then I started thinking, okay, what else can you drink? And so I started doing the iced tea and staying away from sugar so it would be unsweetened. And then I started with the lemonade because I love lemonade and pink lemonade and strawberry lemonade and okay. And then, of course, water. I'm a big Fiji fan. I love Fiji water. But sometimes water just doesn't satisfy your taste. If I'm out gardening and it's a hot day and I love having, that big bottle of Fiji wherever I go. But not every day. I'm not consistent. So, what I started doing is I started watering down my lemonade and adding more water. And then now that I'm 30 days free of the Coke, now I'm starting to think, okay, can you stop drinking the Canada Dry and the orange soda and just stay away from soda altogether? So that's going to be my next goal for this next month. And I'll let you know how I do. If you're having any problems that you're struggling with, you can always leave me a recorder on this platform.